What type of player are you looking for? A specific type of player to add to the group that you have, an identity that you want the Knicks to have?
No, I think we want to, add a little bit of experience to our roster. We want to add some guys that can shoot the basketball. The way the game is going now with the great number of three-point shots. So you need guys that can make shots. We want some guys with a little edge who can defend as well, too. I mean, those ingredients all fit into how we want to play the game and what we talked about from the very beginning and when we're talking about establishing a team and hopefully eventually a team that can compete for a championship.
And I think, Alan, as we go through this process, when we went into the beginning of the season, we said when we come out at the end, we want to have developed an identity and a feeling inside the organization that the people feel like we're an organization that cares about them as people and as basketball players, that we get our players better, and that this is a place that they all want to come back to. And we accomplished a lot of those things over the course of the season, and those allow us to build a plan that when Fizz, Scott, and I go out and start talking to free agents, that will be part of what we're talking to them about.
And I would add, too, just and not to be overlooked or underrated, we're establishing an in-house culture in the building where people enjoy coming to work there. And I think that transfers over to the players, and they see that we're creating a family type of environment. And I just know NBA seasons are long, but players and people within our office will perform better when they're in an environment that they enjoy coming to work to. And I think we really started to establish that kind of thing internally in our office this year too.
It's really funny because Mitchell Robinson's one of our favorite guys. In terms of how we've seen him grow as a young man over the course of the year. But he said the funniest thing to us in the exit interview. He said, and we talked to him, so how do you feel about coming to the gym every day? What do you feel about the environment? And he said, this feels like a family. He said, you guys around here seems like you've known each other for 80 years. Like, 80, where does that number come from? But for him, but that's what he feels about the organization and the people that work there, his relationship with the other players and the coaching staff. So I think that's part of what we're trying to build.
Back with Cam Smith and John Wallace. John, what was it like on the Knicks teams that you played on?
Exactly what Steve was just talking about. It was definitely a family atmosphere. We all got along. We all hung out with each other. And you see it carrying over 25 years later. I'm still working with Alan Hahn, still working with Larry Johnson, still working with John Starks. And we still have this camaraderie that started 25 years ago on the basketball court, and it carries over into the corporate world, and still doing the same thing with MSG.
That word family, can be thrown around really loosely, right? But at the same time, you just touched on it, John. Those relationships that you have 10, 20, 25 years later, like you have with some of your former Knicks teammates, that just proves to how special that time was with that group. And we all know that you want to have a locker room, again, as Steve Mills and Scott Perry alluded to, that we want to have the right guys in our locker room so we can build this family, because an NBA season is a long season. You're going to be around these guys and their families for months on a time. So as for you, John, for the talent, right? You want to have great talent, but at the same time, you got to make sure that the character is right. And Steve Mills and Scott Perry want to make sure they get the right guys in this system. In terms of not just with the Knicks per se during your time playing, but you have friends around the league that had different guys that were talented, but also their character didn't match up with their talent, and it disrupted the locker room, I'm pretty sure.
And when your talent and your character doesn't match up with it, you end up having a very short NBA career. And your talent can only get you in the NBA. Your character keeps you in the NBA. And your hard work keeps you for a longer period of time or whatever. But that's how it goes. Your talent can get you in the NBA. Once you get there, you got to work harder than anything you've ever done in your life to stay there. Yeah. But if you don't have any character, if you don't have the intestinal fortitude to get up every morning, bring it every single day, because there's guys that's bringing it every day. Yeah. And if you don't bring it every day, you will wilt and falter under pressure.
Yeah. Knicks front office doing a great job.